Hi, I'm here with an important message. PSA, public service announcement. This is in regards to energy and how other people's energy can affect us and how we need to be more aware of it, especially in this day and age. There's a lot of people out there when I read for different clients and for the collective, a lot of people are worried, stressed, that kind of thing. I know myself, being in the public eye, there's a lot of energy projected onto me as well. So I feel it. But we all need to feel it. We all need to be conscious of this because what I'm going to talk about can be detrimental. So the more we know, the more we grow. I don't know why I said it like that, but let's get into it. Hello, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I am Sarah, that divination witch. This channel is a witchy safe space and community I've set up to help. So if you've got questions, opinions, whatever, you can share. And if it's different, everyone is different. We don't judge basically. So share away, ask away. Everyone's welcome. If you want to join the community, hit subscribe. It's free. You may as well. And if you want to support the channel further, all the links are below. I have a website and Etsy where I do readings. I've got Patreon. We've been teaching tarot on there. And this year we are going through the year of the Dark Goddess, exploring different archetypes of the Dark Goddess and learning from it in a nutshell. But if you want to learn more, it's all on the links. So yeah, I'd be grateful if you could check it out. Thank you. Right, so if you're a witch or you've been in a witchy community or circles or YouTube or TikTok or wherever you are, you probably have seen things called cord cuttings. Well, there's a reason for that. So this doesn't just apply to witches, but I'm using that as an example to explain. Every connection we have in life is an energy exchange of some variety. Because we are made up of energy. In simple terms, everything is energy. From this camera to my hair, I don't know why I said hair, but to this notebook, to these wires that were next to me. Like everything is energy of some variety. If you zoomed in so much, you would see all the atoms and molecules making up everything. It's all energy, right? And when it comes to spirituality of any variety, a lot of it, including religion and faith, really, it's energy. Whether it's a prayer you're doing, that's your energy, that's your intention going out to God or whoever. Whether it's a magic spell, if you're a witch, that's your energy. Whether it's manifestation, if you're new age, that is energy. So we are made up of it. Everything and everyone is made up of it. And when you have a connection with somebody or something, it's an energy exchange. This is how we form friendships and relationships. And this is where your nervous system comes into play because it picks up on subtle things that maybe the human mind wouldn't ordinarily, unless you know how, like if you've ever had a gut feeling about somebody, they call it a gut feeling, because that is your energy body, you could say, and your nervous system picking up on their nervous system, their vibes they give out, and basically saying, do the vibes match or not? Does that person have good intentions or not? It's like magnets. We either repel or attract in a way. So this sensation is the energy I'm talking about in simple terms. And therefore every connection we have is an exchange. If it's with a living, or I said living because spirits can also be an energy exchange and they're not alive. So anything that's tangible, what I'm meaning is not an inanimate object. Do you get me? Anything that can have energy in that regard. Because, all right, to an extent, actually, correct myself a little bit, although this is nothing to do with what I'm trying to get at. But inanimate objects do hold energy, and that's why we have different tastes in things because it evokes different responses. So like this pocket mirror I think's cute because it's got little corgi things on. Someone else might think that's stupid. You know what I mean? So it still has energy. So yeah, but that's different. The energy we have with each other though, if we resonate with people, we make friends and stuff like that. We seem to like people more than others, and that's just the way it is. That's the way we are. But each connection we have has an energetic exchange, and that exchange comes in the form of a cord. This is where witches talk about cord cuttings. So a cord cutting ritual is normally made up of 2 candles. I'm going to draw it. So this is going to be the worst drawing in the world, but I'm drawing it. I hope this is clear-ish. It's on striped paper, lined paper, stripy paper, guys. Right, so cord cutting ritual, that's your 2 candles, right? It's made up of 2 candles and a string in the middle, so tied around each candle. It's normally a string or a thread or something, okay? That's to symbolise the energy connection between 2 individuals, okay? So your average cord cutting is 2 candles with the string in the middle. Say this candle burns down first, burns the string, cuts the cord, you know, choppy woppy. This is the worst. That's me trying to draw scissors in a strange fashion. But it severs the tie, right? Because we as beings, we can have so many energetical isn't even a word. Energy connections, you know? And it's, do you get me? This I try to draw. So each connection we have with people is energy exchange, and it's a cord that ties back to us. And this is what we need to be more aware of. Okay, this is why we do cord cuttings in witchcraft, I suppose, to try and sever some of these cords, especially say ex-boyfriend or something, or you fall out with someone, or a toxic co-worker or whatever. You don't want the bad energy pulling on you, because I'll be honest, me, and I spoke about it on the channel, me as a content creator, I have so many energetic cords. It got to a point where I was being pulled this way, that way, all over, and I didn't know where to start, and I didn't have time for me. So sometimes, I mean, I asked for it, it's my job, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, you know, whether it's a personal level or not. And yes, it comes in obvious forms, like I mentioned there, your ex or your friend or whatever, your family members. But it doesn't just come from that. Like me as a content creator, you guys watching, whether you like it or not, you've invested time and energy into me, and I've done it vice versa. So there is a connection. Now, it might not be as strong as, say, your bestie, but there's something there. And this is where you have to be aware of who and what you give your time and energy to, because it's precious. You don't get that back. So I don't mind giving it out to people if it helps them, you know, and receiving some in return. But when it's nasty, I don't want that in return. So I have protections up as a witch to stop those connections happening, basically. And you need that. That's why us as magical practitioners, the more you get into it, you do need protections to stop even stuff like that. Never mind bad spirits and things like this. So I used to call negative people mood hoovers. But if you're stuck around a mood hoover, that's going to make you feel down, you know. And sometimes we've got no choice. I would call those people mood hoovers, people I had to work with. I worked in, for many years, a complaints section. You can imagine the shit that I dealt with. I was like a complaints manager. Oh, some of the things. Even that is an energy exchange. And so when you're dealing with things like that, such negative things, and say it's a customer and, you know, in your workplace and you've got a complaint. I'm just using an example I've had to deal with in the past. And it's going to take 3 months to resolve something. You're going to have that connection there for 3 months, that negative connection. So you need to learn how to manage these things. So the best thing that you can do is to physically manage things. So if you are physically able to distance yourself from someone, you can't always, I know that, because of obligations and things like this. But if you can, great. That's the first way. Second way, if it's someone like a customer or a colleague, someone you have to interact with, limit that interaction as best as you can and try not to let your emotions get the better of you. Try not to get too emotionally involved. This is why when I worked in mental health, I struggled in the end to emotionally detach sometimes, because these people were regulars who would contact me and who were going through a hell of a lot, and you empathise, you want to fix it for them, you want to help them. Well, you can't save everyone. You can't help everyone in that regard, because people have to want to help themselves too. So that was difficult. So you have to learn to protect yourself. So in situations where it's workplace or obligations, this is where boundaries come into play. You have to be firm with them. So if someone's spouting off at you and it's, say, a workplace situation, just nod, acknowledge it, but don't really take it in. Yeah, you can acknowledge it, be polite, do your job, whatever you've got to do, but you don't have to let that affect you as a person. You don't have to take that step to make it personal and let it affect you and your energy. And then when you can, put it out your mind, get rid of it, get rid of that feeling. You know, there's a lot that I've gone through in the past that is trivial really, but I worked these stressful jobs, like I've just mentioned. I can't remember every single dick that I dealt with. I can't remember every single emotional person I dealt with. I just get on with it. There's some odd few that's like, wow, because it was out there. But you've got to dismiss things. And a lot of people don't. Some people do, obviously, but a lot don't from experience, which is why I'm making this video, because it can drain you. It can really, really drain you, because your energy is not unlimited. So if you've got that connection there, say with a toxic customer, you strengthen the connection. The more you think about it, the more you worry about it, get anxious over it, you strengthen it. You're sending out energy and making yourself feel worse. Now, I know obviously there's the psychological aspect of things as well when it comes to stuff like that. It's not always that simple, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible here. Where you can, set boundaries and affirm them and distance yourself from things like this. Now, if you are a practitioner, if you are a witch, be doing your cord cuttings and getting your protections up as well, and making sure you are regularly cleansing and banishing negative energy off yourself, not just your home, but you as a person, because we as people get attachments. It's not just haunted houses and things like this, it's people too. And I've recently on the channel spoke about how your own shadow can do that. Well, other people's intentions on you can. Evil eye energy, that is a connection too. So you want to be on top of this. But I'm making this video to make people more aware of it, because until recently, even me myself wasn't as aware of it as I should have been. So the more you know, the more you can combat this. So that's why I've made the video. Be aware of your energy connections and who you give your energy to. All right? Stay safe out there. If you made it this far, you may as well hit subscribe. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. And until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.